Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to You Can Talk. My name is Ruth Finney, and I am here this evening talking about the only one, the only one. I just want to start out by uh, saying I'm sorry I was supposed to be here this morning. I try to do morning sessions always, but if I have a very, very tight schedule in the morning, trying to squeeze things in. So if I'm not at certain mile markers or at certain points at particular times, I know I'm not going to make it in time to be able to do my live sessions in the morning. So if I can't make the live, and we had an accident this morning that right close to where I usually drop my kids off, so it just put me all the way behind, all the way behind. So I ended up having to reschedule my morning session for this evening right now. Hello, Verns. Hello, Verns. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Love to travel with Wave. Hello, good to see you. Welcome in, welcome in. My name is Ruth Finney, for those of you who may be new or who'll be catching the replay. Hello, Harrison. How are you? Good to see you. I enjoyed your live the other night. Thought that was a really great topic and some very good points that you made about a lot of things, especially, who we allow to speak into our life and who we choose as mentors. So I thought that was just a really great topic. So, welcome in this evening, guys. I wanted to talk about this subject because of all the people that I've kind of worked with and talked with and counseled with in my church and different places over the years, and I myself have been in the position, or at least at some point felt like I was in this position where you feel like you're the only one. You feel like you're the only one in the relationship trying to make things work, right? Trying to who's even willing to try, right? Who is even putting forth any effort, who's willing to put in any work. And that can be extremely frustrating when you're trying to make the relationship or when you're trying to make the marriage work. So, hello, Edward Smart. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in this evening. I'm glad you guys caught me. I'm glad you caught me. Let's see. Everyone is speaking to each other. Everyone's saying, how was each other's day? Unbroken Sylvia, love and blessings to you. My sister, how are you? How are you? Welcome in. I'm just going to give a couple seconds to see, make sure I speak to everyone who is popping in. I hope y'all had a great day. My day was very busy as always. Ever since life has opened back up, life has just been extremely busy. So, trying to do what I can to get these sessions in and get this information out to you all in the midst of, being a wife and a mom and a full-time employee. So, I enjoy this. This is like my restoration time. Like, it restores me to be able to share this knowledge and just life experiences that I share with you all. So I appreciate you all being here and taking the time to pop in and listen to what I have to say. Right, because you certainly could be doing plenty of other things. But anyway, I just want to talk this evening. I won't hold y'all too long. I just wanted to talk this evening about the frustration and some different things that we can try to do to help us cope with the times in our relationships or in our marriages where we feel like we're the only one trying to make things work. A lot of times, uh, you can feel like you're the only one that's making any sacrifices. Maybe some of these sound familiar to you, right? Maybe you feel like you're the only one that's making any sacrifices in the relationship or in the marriage. You're always the one willing to give up, what you want in order for the other person. You're the only one willing to go the extra mile, right? To stay longer, to put up with, maybe friends or family members that you wouldn't necessarily or particularly care for because you want to try to make things work or you want to try to please your partner. Maybe, hello, Purple Paisley Planner. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for popping in. Maybe you're the only one in the relationship or the marriage who's just being honest about things, right? Maybe you are in a position where you feel like you can be honest about what's going on, what's working and what's not working, how you're feeling, but you feel like maybe your partner's not being so honest, right? Um, or maybe you're the one that's willing to, accept any type of responsibility for what may not be going so well in the relationship. Hello, Chef BC Cherry Bliss, how are you? Welcome. I appreciate you all for popping in this evening. I know sometimes I try to be there in the mornings, but I never know what's going to happen, and I have to reschedule to the evening with the traffic. So that's how life is these days. So I appreciate you all hanging with me and popping in when you can. Really, I do. So for those of you all who are just kind of coming in, we're talking about being the only one in the relationship who is trying to make things work. Maybe there's been a time where you feel like you're the only one, like I said, who is willing to accept any responsibility for what is not working in the relationship, but your partner doesn't want to claim anything, right? They're doing everything perfect and you're doing everything wrong. And you're willing to say, hey, I know that I've done this wrong. I know that I'm doing things wrong. I know that I could be doing things better. Maybe you're not necessarily doing things wrong, but you know that you could be doing things better. But they're not willing to accept any responsibility for what they're doing or not doing, right? And that can be extremely frustrating, extremely frustrating. Hello, Rashika Conyers. How are you? Welcome. Thank you for being here this evening. Um, so yeah, that you want someone who's willing to say yes when we get up enough courage, or when we put our ego down enough to even be able to say that we've done something wrong, or that we could be doing better. Um, and the other person doesn't want to claim anything. They don't want to accept anything, right? They don't want to admit a single thing about what they are doing or not doing, right? So that can be frustrating. Another situation that can make you feel like you're the only one is when you're the only one that even thinks that things can improve, right? Maybe the other person is already ready to write the relationship off, and you can already tell that they're in a position where they're trying to figure out a way out. They're already trying to find a way out. You feel like they're, doing things, they're manipulating things, because you can tell they're trying to find a way out, and they're just trying to find the least way to hurt your feelings, right? And maybe you feel like you're the only one that wants it to work, like you're the only one that wants it to last. You're the only one that even thinks that it can improve, right? So these are some of those I'm the only one scenarios. Hello. No, I'm sorry. It wasn't somebody. I thought someone had just popped in, but actually, Jaden did just pop in. Hello, Jaden. How are you? And thank you for sharing my video, Burns. I appreciate you all sharing my videos out, and hitting that like button and subscribing if you're not a part of the Talk family. Maybe you're the only one that's even trying to seek for things to improve. Maybe you're the only one in the relationship that's showing any love, right? Maybe you're the only one that's even showing any love. Maybe you're putting out the affection, you're giving those gifts, you're trying to speak their love languages, but they're not doing anything in return, right? To try to learn your love language, or do what it is that you need, right? Try to fulfill your needs, or try to even find out what your needs are if you have any needs. Love to travel says, is that the moment when one should walk away? Well, let's find out. Let's find out. Let's talk through some things, because it may be for you, but it may not be. And those are some of the points that I want to bring to the table tonight. That's what we're going to be talking about, so that you can try to decide, okay, I'm already feeling like I'm the only one in this. I'm the only one trying to make things work. I'm the only one accepting responsibility. I'm the only one who's trying to be honest. I'm the only one that even thinks that things can improve. But should I stay or should I go? So that's some of the stuff that we're going to talk about tonight. Hey, thanks. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome in. Thank you for popping in this evening. Thank you for popping in. And like I said, maybe you're the only one who's willing to even give in the relationship. Maybe you're at a point in the relationship where you're giving and giving and giving, and the person you're with is not giving anything in return. That can be very frustrating. So what happens? Exactly what you said, Love to Travel. It's that very thing that says, you know what, I'm ready to walk away from this. And sometimes that's easy. That's an easy decision for people to make, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes people are torn between whether they should leave or whether they should go. Maybe they've invested a lot of time. Maybe they've invested a lot of money. Maybe they have signed a marital contract, right? Maybe they have taken that leap of and entered into the institution of marriage, and the thought of walking away from it is just not something that's so easy to do. Maybe you have some children. Maybe y'all have some ties that would be very hard to or difficult to walk away from. So for some people, and depending on the situation, are you married? Are you not married? Are you just dating? How long have you been dating? How much time and money and your life and yourself have you invested in this relationship or in this marriage? Should I walk away? Should I not? Let's talk about just some things that we can do to try to, get through this period where, we can feel like we're the only one. The first thing you have to do is get honest about uh, how the situation sort of derived, because sometimes I think we can get in a mindset of fooling ourselves into thinking that the person has changed, right? That the person has changed, when the reality is they really may have always been that way. But because we wanted the relationship so badly, the things that used to get on our nerves, that used to not get on our nerves, are now getting on our nerves, right? The things that we used to be able to tolerate or excuse or, look over or look past, now that it's in our face every day, or now that we're in these long-term relationships or long-term marriages, and they're being brought to the forefront constantly, it's very difficult to overlook them anymore. Now they're getting on our nerves, now they're irritating us, and now we're annoyed by it and angry by it and frustrated by it. So we have to be honest. That's, number one. Let's get honest with ourselves. Has the person always been this way, or have they really changed? Did some things happen in the relationship or in the marriage that really did change, that sort of either made them want to check out, right? Or made them just not want to put forth any effort anymore. So think about for yourself in your relationship, what the scenario is for you, what the scenario is for you. The person has to be willing to change, right? The person has to be willing to change. And a lot of times we're not willing to do anything unless we first have the mindset and the belief into thinking that it can improve, or that it can get better. Or that it's worth the effort that's going to have to be put in to make it work, right? So you have to try to figure out what that is for you. So first get honest. Hello, life's magical journey. How are you? Welcome. Glad to catch you live. I'm glad you did too. I'm glad you did too. So I try to go live either Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, either in the mornings or in the evenings. A lot of people have asked me if I'm going to be coming back on Saturday nights. I will definitely try to incorporate some more Saturday nights back into this channel. But it won't be every Saturday night. I do know that much. So, yes, willingness to change is key. Yes, absolutely. Willingness to change is key. So be honest, like I said, about where the person is. The second thing that I want you to think about when you're trying to make that decision is who has been the priority? Who has been priority one in your relationship? Have you always put that person's needs before your own? Have you always put that person's needs before your own? Like, so I guess another way to say it is like, are you a people pleaser, right? Are you always, wanting your spouse to be happy, that you are willing to, like I say, make those sacrifices, that you sacrifice your own happiness, your own peace, your own fulfillment, your own joy, uh, the things that you need, that keeps you whole, that keeps you healthy, that keeps you at peace and feeling loved, like you're even a part of the relationship. Because if you are the one that's always sacrificing, if you are the one that's always giving and doing, and you've made the other person a priority and they never make you a priority, then we're going to get bitter. We're going to get bitter. We're going to get upset. We're going to get frustrated. So what do we need to do? We need to get a little selfish. We need to get a little selfish. And I think I had a live about this. It was a couple weeks back, about making sure that you keep yourself a priority in the relationship, because that is one of the things, and especially I think, and it happens on both sides. Men and women both do it. Men and women both sacrifice for the love of their partners because they want things to work. They want, maybe they want to get married. They want to get to a place where they want that longevity in their relationships. And so on both sides, people are willing to sacrifice. But the problem is when you feel like you're the only one, one, right? You feel like you're the only one. So you have to get a little bit selfish and keep a little bit of selfishness. Now, and I'm the first one to say selfishness has no place in a relationship or in a marriage, but you do have to make sure that you keep yourself a priority in the relationship. Being in a marriage and being in a relationship does not mean uh, death to self. Okay, it does not mean death to self. You still are you, but you are also a part of a unit. Just like in the Bible, there's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. They all function individually, but they also function as the Trinity, as one. And that is what God calls us to do. He doesn't say that you don't matter anymore. He just says that you matter, but you also matter as a unit, right? You no longer can just consider you, right? You also have to consider the person that you're in relationship with. So like I say, that doesn't mean that you don't consider you. And what happens is we get into a space in our relationships where we quit considering ourselves. We quit considering what makes us happy. We quit considering what makes us full. We quit considering, are we even getting our needs met? Is this relationship serving me in a way that is beneficial to me? We have to support each other, love each other, encourage one another. And if you are in a relationship that is not making you better, right? That is not um, fulfilling your life in some way, shape, or form, then it may not be a good relationship for you to be in. Okay. This is an amazing live as usual here, listening and finishing up some work. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you for this time that you are blessing me with in your life, Chef. I appreciate it. Um, so get a little, you do still have to get a little selfish. One of the things that I do and have incorporated into my marriage is because like I said, I work full time. We have two, a set of twin 4-year-olds in our home. And, I was also previously a caretaker, with my mother, having to do. And so I'm being pulled in so many different directions. And I literally felt myself being drained, right? Like, being the wife, being the mom, being the employee, giving, 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 giving. And I literally felt myself being drained and getting bitter. And so I told my husband, I said, hon, I need some time to myself. Like, can you just give me a couple of hours in the evening to sort of do some things that I need to do, that I want to do, to help replenish my life? And he was willingly, thankfully, lovingly, thank you, honey, I love you so much, was willing to do that. So every, one night a week, when I get off of work, I don't have to come straight home and, get the kids and do the dinner and blah, blah, do all the things that need to be done. I get to go and get my nails done, or go and see a movie, or go and, go to dinner with a friend that I may not have spent time with in a while. Just whatever it is that fuels my spirit, right? Maybe I'll go and do a paint class, or I will go sit in a church service, like a Bible study. I do all kinds of things, but it's just the fact that I can do whatever it is I choose to do, right? I may choose to go, just hang out for a little bit, whatever it is, as long as I'm not doing anything that's going to, damage my relationship and my marriage. Obviously, I do the things that feeds my spirit. Sometimes I'll go take an exercise class, whatever it is. So you have to make sure that you're still taking care of yourself. And I don't mean just, physically, like going to making sure that your body is well, of course, but I'm talking about that mental, spiritual, emotional self that's within you, that you need to make sure that you take care of. Because then that way you don't get so bitter, you don't feel drained, and you don't get so angry about what your partner is not doing. Because what happens is we spend a lot of time expecting our partners to fulfill every aspect of our needs. And the reality is that they can't, and they won't. Not only can they not, but they're unable to. They're unable to. I heard this lady that I like to listen to every once in a while. She said, we expect our partners to do, and I can't think of her name right now, and I really love listening to her. But she says, we expect our partners to do what at one time an entire village used to do, right? We used to live in villages. We used to live in like packs, so to speak, right? We lived in neighborhoods and communities where everyone knew each other. So you had your, people who were able to, be that friend to you. Maybe you had people that you hung out and did sports with. Maybe you have people that you just gossip with, right? Or maybe you have people that you like to play chess with, or play cards with, or play dominoes with, or people you like to drink with, or hang out with, or just shoot around the bush with, right? Different people feed our spirit in different ways. And because we, especially now, have become so isolated that we expect our partners to fulfill every aspect of our needs. And they just can't. And then we get bitter about it and we get frustrated. Why aren't you making me happy? Why aren't you supporting me in this area? Why aren't you listening to me talk for hours on end about this subject that I know you really care nothing about? Right. So, and we put all these expectations on our partners, and then that also makes us feel like we're the only ones trying to make it work, right? Because they're not checking off all these boxes that we've set before them. And then when they don't do that, or when they miss one, and when they fall short on one, we nag them to death about the one thing or the two or three areas that they're falling short in. And we forget to appreciate them in the multiple other areas that they are doing really well in. And so, you know, it's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle. So we have to also be willing to set boundaries. Okay, we have to set boundaries. Let's see, make sure I'm not missing any. Praying for Gigi. Yes, yes, I'm praying for Gigi too. Chef BC. I saw your Instagram, and I saw some things about that. So yes, I'm definitely praying for her as well. She's such a beautiful spirit that I love. Seeing you all's relationship. I do. It's just beautiful. It reminds me of me and my mother. Uh, but anyway, so you have to set boundaries, right? We have to figure out how we can set some boundaries. And what I mean by that, I know we hear that all the time, set boundaries, right? What I mean by that is you have to continue to do and not sacrifice so much that you don't stay whole, that you don't stay a whole, happy individual without your partner. Okay. If you are not happy, if you are not whole, if you are not fulfilled, um, your partner should just be the bonus, the icing on the cake of your life, really. I know a lot of people like to quote that line that's in that movie, "You complete me," type thing, and that's so cute. It's beautiful and it's nice to hear. But you should be complete before you bring another complete person into your life. Okay, you should be complete before you bring another complete person in your life. Because if there are some holes in your life that you need fulfilling, we don't need to look to, we should not be completely dependent on our partners to fulfill those holes. Let me say that. We should not be completely dependent on our partners to fulfill those holes. We have to figure out the things that we need to do. Whether that be, God and religion for you, whether that be counseling for you, whatever it is for you, you need to figure out how to get yourself whole and happy first, so that you can honor your spirit, so that you can honor your spirit within the relationship, so that when your partner is not doing the things that we think that they should be doing, when your partner is not saying the things that we think that they should be saying, when they're not, uh, showing affection to us the way we feel like we should be receiving affection, we don't get bitter, because sacrificing too much, like I said, makes us feel bitter and not better. And it makes us feel like we're the only one trying to make it work. And then as a result, we feel like maybe this is not what I should be in. Maybe you're not the one for me. Maybe you're not the person that I thought you were. All that. So be a whole and complete person, yes, before entering to a relationship, and look for a whole and complete person. Don't look for somebody that you have to um constantly pour into in order to see a smile on their face, or in order to get any love from them. If you are not married and you see that you are in a relationship that is already making you feel drained, don't enter into marriage with that. Okay. Don't enter into marriage with that because marriage only amplifies any issues that are already there. It does not dissipate them, it does not make them go away. Marriage tends to amplify issues and not make them go away. Not to say the marriage doesn't have its benefit, because it absolutely does. But if you already see that there are some issues that you're concerned about and you don't work through those issues, you don't talk about them, you don't, work to try to, remedy them, those issues are only going to get bigger in marriage. They're not going to go away. So what else can we do? We have to communicate, right? We have to communicate. Uh, we have to get to a space, and I know that not everyone likes to talk, right? Not everyone even knows how to express their feelings. Sometimes we have a hard time even figuring out what we're feeling. But you have to try to figure out in your mind what it is that you need in the relationship or in the marriage. If you had your thoughts and ideas and uh, things that you had hoped and want your marriage to be, or things that you know that you're called to do, right? Because marriage also has purpose, right? Marriage also has purpose. So if you know that you have some things that you're called to do and the relationship is not serving that, then let the person know. Think this relationship or this marriage is let people know what we want to have. It's important that we let people know what type of relationship we want to have. We say we want someone who is, loving and caring and affectionate and supportive, and who is a caretaker, who's a leader, who's submissive, who's humble, who's funny, right? Right. We have a long list of things that we want, but then sometimes we don't talk about those things that they're doing or not doing that that is not um, sort of like in line with that, right? And that may not even be the best way to say it, but be clear about who you are and be clear about the type of life that you want to live, right? The type of relationship that you want to have, because when we sacrifice those things, we get bitter when the relationship doesn't fall in line with what we had in our mind that it would be. And I hope that makes sense. I hope I didn't confuse anyone. Uh, we tend to, when because we really want to be with someone, or because we don't want to hurt someone's feelings, we tend to like settle. We settle for, oh, well, maybe this is not so bad, or oh, but we settle on things that really are important to us, right? We settle on, being with somebody who's not saved, even though we are, because we really want to be with this person because maybe they have a lot of other great qualities. Or we settle on, dating that person who doesn't really want to have children because they're so good with kids, right? Um, or we settle on, being with somebody who maybe is not so much a socialite when we know that we really are a socialite, right? Or we settle with someone who, walks around living in fear when we know we're a go-getter, right? So that's what I mean when I say communicate who you are, the type of relationships that you want, and don't settle, don't back down away from that. If you know thyself, you have to know who you are in the relationship, because if you settle for something that you know is not in line with who you are, if you settle for a person who you know is completely opposite of who you are, you'll have no areas of commonality or very minimal areas of commonality. You're going to end up being bitter later, and you're going to begin to feel like you're the only one in the relationship trying to make things work. We're quick to get into that struggle love cycle. Absolutely. That struggle love cycle. I totally agree with you. And then Life's Magical Journey says we settle and then we're resentful towards a person. Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. We settle, but then we get mad when the person is not what we want them to be, when really they never were. That's why I said we have to be honest. Has the person really always been this way, or did something really change that made them, not want to be a part of it anymore? So you have to get honest with yourself with that sometimes. So yes, don't settle and then turn around and get mad at the person because that's not what they do, that's not what they want to do, or they're backing out or backing away from you, or getting mad at you because you want them to do something that they don't want to do. Well, that was never their thing. That was never their thing. We just wanted it to be their thing. Or maybe we would hope that someday or one day that it would be their thing, or that they would come around, or that they would get into it, or that we could change them or influence, and when it doesn't, and when it backfires, we get mad and upset. So, and then we and feel like we're the only one that wants the marriage, that we're the only one that wants to try to make things work, right? All of that. So this is sort of how we get into this. This is how we get into this. Yes, I love that. Your spouse is not a DIY project. Your spouse is not a DIY project. That's right. They should be a whole happy individual before you even get into the relationship, before you get into the marriage. Yes, before you say I do. Yes, they are not a DIY project. That's so perfect. So make a decision. Hello, Raymond Santana. How are you? Welcome in, and welcome to the Talk family. Welcome to the Talk family. Everyone say hello to Raymond Santana. I appreciate you popping in and listening in with us today. So make a decision, seek God. If you, like I said, if you are not married and you're just dating, and you already see some signs of bitterness and some resentment and some frustration, then get to that space where you're like, okay, you know what, this may not be for me, and I need to put my big girl panties on, or put my grown man underwear on, and say and realize this is not for me, and open the door for what is supposed to be for you, and don't settle, because that's why we end up in so many divorces, because we settle for things that don't align with who we are and don't align with our spirit, like who we truly are within. And if you are married and you are still feeling like you are the only one that's in the marriage, something that I have definitely had to do myself, when your partner is not where you want them to be, when your partner is, maybe checked out at the time, and you're frustrated, and you're getting more and more bitter, and you're getting in a place where you really almost want to walk away, but you're maybe torn of, I don't believe in divorce, or I don't believe in not being together or being separated and all that kind of stuff. Make a decision. Develop your a life within yourself. Reprioritize your life and put you first. um let's see, how can I share this in a way that's not overly revealing here? When you're in a marriage and things are not working, and your partner is going through what they're going through, and you're frustrated, one of the things that I had to do was I had to refine, and redefine my own life within the marriage, so that I would not be so focused on what my partner was not giving me. Okay. So that meant that I had to live my life. I had to turn away from the marriage at the time, right? Turn away from my partner in the marriage and focus on self, which meant the things that I was expecting and wanting from my spouse that they could not give me at that time. I had to try to figure out a healthy way to get those things back into my life, so that I could remain a whole and complete healthy person. Okay. Does that make sense to you all? Does that make sense what I'm saying? Um, because I needed, affection, and because I needed help and assistance, because I needed socialized, or people, or whatever. I had to find those things. So, like when I needed more affection, I spent more time hanging out with my family, people who I could love on and who could love on me in a way that I needed to feel loved, right? I didn't have to go seek another person, right? Because I was married. I didn't have to go seek another person, but I could spend more time with friends and family and people who I could love on, and who could love on me in a way that would fill that gap that was missing in my life. When I needed to, when I wasn't getting the socialization or the communication that I needed from my spouse, I was able to spend more time with friends or spend more time in areas where I could do more socializing, right? Becoming a part of different groups or organizations that allowed me to communicate the way I needed to communicate and to fulfill that space that I was missing. So that's what I mean when I'm saying, try to focus on yourself and fulfill those areas until you can get to a space where your partner is willing to start working. Okay, because you don't know when that's going to be. You don't know when that's going to be. Hey, Beauty and Beast Journey, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for popping in this evening. I think it's probably earlier where you are because I think if I remember you're out in California, so it's a little earlier out there. But anyway, so focus on yourself. If you are in a marriage and you're not ready to give up, you're not ready to walk away, focus on yourself and get yourself whole and try to figure out how you can fill those gaps that are missing in your life without putting those expectations on your partner who you know at the time is unwilling to do that. So if that means you have to go see a counselor, if that means you have to go do some self-help work, if you have to, do some journaling, if you have to hang around some different kinds of people, if you have to start doing some things that you had at one time put aside, that was another thing I did. Became a part of a hiking group that I really enjoyed doing. I got back to doing those things that I loved and enjoyed and became fulfilled. And then I became less angry, less frustrated, less bitter, less upset, and I begin to feel whole again from the inside. I begin to feel whole again from the inside. So if you're feeling like you're the only one, these are just, some things that I would recommend you doing or trying, should I say. Things I would recommend you trying. Until you all can get back to a space where the person may be willing, because I can tell you there is absolutely nothing more attractive than to be with a person who is full and happy and whole. And sometimes just you refocusing on yourself and getting back to your happy place can reignite your partner or your spouse to want to re-engage in life with you or to re-engage in relationship with you. So sometimes the very thing we need, instead of constantly focusing on what's not working with our partners, is to start focusing on ourselves and getting whole within ourselves so that our partners will be, so that we can be more attractive to our partners and they may be more willing to re-engage. All right. So that's all I have this evening that I wanted to share with you all. Thank you all so much for coming in. This is a communication channel. It's titled You Can Talk, and all I do on here is talk about different ways that you can communicate to or things that you can try to improve the relationships in your life. And everything I talk about on this channel is from my personal life experiences and things that I've had to overcome, lessons that I've learned. And I share, those things as often as I can. Take what works, leave what doesn't. No love lost. I'm no counselor, I'm no therapist, all that. But, whatever is helpful to you or beneficial to you, I wish I had, something like this in my life to glean from, to be able to just pull from just some thoughts. And sometimes we just need another way of looking at things or another so a little bit of advice about how to say something differently, right? And that's what I want to be for you all. I just want to fill in those gaps and to be a voice of you know reason, I guess you could say, to say, hey, try this, have you tried that, and see if that works for you. And so I appreciate you all, like I said, giving me this time and allowing me to speak into your lives. You're here. So, you've given me permission to speak into your lives. And I really thank you for that. I don't take it lightly. And, I take it very seriously. So I hope that is what's coming forth in these talk sessions that I have on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Any questions? I'll go ahead and put out, any questions? Anyone have any questions out there before I get ready to get off? And I'll wait just a couple of seconds to see if any questions pop in. In the meantime, please hit that like button. If you're not a part of the Talk family, hit the subscribe button and become a part of the Talk family so that I can just be a voice of reason. You enjoyed the talk. Thank you so much, Magical Journey. I appreciate you. I'm glad that you did. I'm glad that there was something in there that hopefully you could take a little nugget away from. All right. All right. Well, I don't see any questions. So I will be on here back Wednesday. I'll try again Wednesday morning if all the traffic goes well. If not, it might be Wednesday evening. It might be Wednesday evening. All right. So I hope you all, go out, be the light, do what you can do and stop feeling like you're the only one and pour back into your own life so that you can be who you need to be in the midst of trying to figure things out in your relationships and in your marriages. All right. Okay, I'm going to head out. You all have a beautiful evening, a wonderful day, a wonderful rest of the week if I don't see some of you all. And you all take care and be the light. Be the light. We're called to be the light in the world. So just keep that in mind when you're engaging with others. All right. Love you all so very much. Take care. Bye bye.